Okay, I'm going to walk you through this. So you have opening up the files. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What you have is your footage in one. So these are all the cameras that were being used. This is all the footage inside of those exact cameras. That's your footage folder. Then you have audio. So audio here, you have what I had him as the groom mic'd up as during the ceremony, and then also what he had on his first look. That's right here. That's when I had the lav on the groom. And then the DR40 is plugged into the board of the DJ, if there was a DJ, for the ceremony and the reception. So from there, we are going to close that. We don't have anything in the music folder yet. I typically put music into that folder, whether I take a day during my process to actually get music off a music bed, and just like, honestly, I would take pretty much a day just to get music alone, but you're going to either get music beforehand or while you're doing it or right before you start making the video. However the music comes to you or when you start looking at it, that's up to you, but then you would put the music in that folder. So here, now we have our library. So that was our audio. Now we're going to our library folder. This is where we are gonna have, this is just saying the template basically. So this is the bundle that when you click on this, it's going to open up Final Cut Pro. Or next we have number 4, which is your masters. I put all of my masters into this folder. So everything from audio master, like after mastering the mics and all that stuff, which don't worry about that right now. That's a whole separate thing that we'll talk about down the road. Right now, it's just mainly focusing on opening up the framework of what you're going to be working in. So that's your masters folder. And then assets is really just anything, anything other like, you know, a thumbnail or something like that. Sometimes I put thumbnails in masters. It's up to you, but like, you know, other miscellaneous stuff that you might have used, like a certain graphic or something, can go in assets. That's kind of what that's for. So let's go to the first place you go is the library. You open up your library tab. So from here, you're going to go to this, double click right onto this. It's going to open up Final Cut. So from here, let me just set this up so it's in line with this. Take this away. Okay, so here we go. We got your very elongated. This is just how I captured my screen. That's hilarious. But okay, that's a funny thing to laugh at. Okay, so here you open up that and you're gonna come into this wedding film. Cool. This is all of your breakdowns of syncs for your ceremony, toasts, and first look, all that. For the multicams, and you can put in your audio here. And then going into the prep, this is where all your prep footage is going to get dropped into. So typically I use all of these keyword folders as a way to basically put my favorite shots into these areas. So more on that in a bit. Then we're going to prep. That's your groom prep. This is your portraits of the couple. So I pretty much think of anything that has just the couple goes into this category of these names. So whenever the events were. And then ceremony is going to be all my ceremony footage. So all of my ceremony footage goes in here. Post-ceremony, pre-ceremony, processional. A lot of times it just ends up being ceremony and post-ceremony. Pre-ceremony I just treat as ceremony. So like these two I don't really use, but hey, haven't gotten rid of them for the few times that there is like a processional, which does typically happen to a lot. I just don't really end up getting to the point of putting just that footage because it's never that important. Okay, reception. this is going to be everything that goes on in the reception. This is what I love about this framework is basically it's like, okay, what happened during cocktail hour? Boom, cocktail hour. Formality is going to be anything with like the cake, stuff like that. Then you have toasts, a band, if there was a band, or like a DJ can go in there. Intros and first dances. Then your dancing, all your dancing footage can go in here. Photo booth, if there is a photo booth, and then the exit, and then mingling would be like, I think that falls more in the framework of cocktail hour, but if you want to get that nitpicky, I guess. And then location, this is where a lot of the drone shots go, so ceremony and reception, if they're a different spot. If we have the drone up, that's where you're going to go into that. Pre-ceremony and setup, kind of separate these if you want. You know, if there was like a point in the cocktail hour was in a totally separate spot, then you would go to like set up or something like that. But like at the end of the day, it ends up being like your location shots of where the ceremony was and where the reception is. So to be honest, we could probably get like rid of that, but I'm not doing that right this second. Okay, so now that's your wedding film event, right? So I'm actually going to take the name of this couple and put it in right here. And now this is their folder. So this should update on the other end. Now, here's what I want to confirm. I want to make sure that all of this footage that I'm about to drop into this project here is going to stay in my hard drive. So just stay in that folder in the hard drive, not get put onto the computer and then take up all my computer storage and speed and everything like that. So the way to confirm that, to make sure this is like the dark horse secrets, like workflow being fast, is you click on the main project. So this is your main project here. We just switched the name of it. You go over to storage locations, modify settings, and then these are all going to want to be in the folder that's on your hard drive. So you're going to go in here. I don't know what in library is, so I just go to choose right off the bat whether that's the right one. I bet you it's not, because this was probably what it was. So I'm going to find the hard drive that I have this on right now. I'm going to go into here, Wedding Films 2021, and then we have Adriana and Ian and their library. So this is where I want everything that happens within Final Cut. I want that to be registered in this library folder. That's going to be your cache files, all of that stuff. So that's going to be all your media stays in there. So that's basically saying like your computer is going to recognize, oh, I don't need all this footage to go onto another computer. I can just keep it right here because it's housed all on the hard drive. So now that's where hard drive speed comes in, the importance of that. Next step is going to be motion content. I always just skip over because motion content is like Apple, if you're using Apple Motion, which I don't use. So there's nothing that's going to fill that folder anyways because I don't have any of that content. Now your cache is where it's going to store. So in library, we don't know what that is. Can I come over here, find again, make sure, library, boom. Okay. Next, backups. Why not? Just in case, I'm going to double check, make sure. 3, library, Adriana and Ian. Perfect. Hit OK. I don't know this. Yeah, sometimes it says, do you want to move your rendered files? If there's no rendered files in here, so just hit include if that comes up. If it doesn't come up, disregard. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't need to come up anyways. Okay, now you're good. Your routing's good. Everything's good. It's going to stay on the hard drive. You're not going to have to double up on storage on your computer now that you rerouted that. Next step is going to be, I just click on the event. So that's the event with all this. I right click, so two fingers on an apple, right click, gonna go down to import media. And it's as simple as this, y'all. Go to JTFilms, Adriana and Ian. I'm gonna go to footage, boom. Grab my footage, all of these cameras. So for that, I just hit shift, did that, went to the last camera, and then in here I have my audio files opened up, ready to go. We're gonna go and hit every, we could just say all things audio, right? Now, I just double checked that it says leave files in place. I'm going to hit import selected because we want to leave them in. We don't want to copy them to the library because it's going to copy all your files. You want to leave the files where they're at on the hard drive. They don't have to go anywhere because the project is also on the hard drive. So that's going to help rendering speeds and stuff like that. From there, import selected. Let's see. This is going to take a little bit because this is a full wedding. There they are. My files now. Yes, the background rendering is going to take a little bit. But now here's all my footage. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So now we have some footage in here. A little overexposed. Sorry about that. Whammy. No big deal. Ooh, that's a nice shot. Great shot. Good stuff, man. Look at that. Look at that videographer, bruh. And then I got the pimp over here. What a legend. Look at this dude. Bum, 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 bum. Boom, 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 boom. What a pimp. So good. All right. Enough. Cool. Good shot there. Good shots. Shots. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. From here, you just distribute the footage. It's really that simple. So all of my groom stuff, looks like we're in the groom prep. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to all the clips that have the groom in them walking around. Boom. Going to take him with all of his groomsmen, and we're going to go to hanging out, suit up. Actually, you might be able to go to bridal party. That's your bridal party. Right there, him and the guys going into bridal party. They weren't hanging out yet. This was after hanging out. And then, okay, so now, if you look at that, it's in bridal party, is all of their bridal party shots. Boom. Good to go. Now you got to go back into here, which is your entire event. And this is looking like this is the first look that we're looking at now. He's looking at his watch. What's going on? There she is. Beautiful bride. Woohoo! First look. Okay, so we got the first look here. We're going to take that and drag and drop it right into first look. And that's how you cull. It's called culling. C-U-L-L. Cull the footage. Okay? This is going to be the groom. Going into groom prep. He's just kind of hanging out there. This can actually go into bridal party. So yeah, you go through here. This is a huge process that pays off in the end, because then once you get all of this culled, right? So you go through all the footage and you cull it, distribute it. Okay, here's the girls, rather than show you what I just showed you, but basically it would be, okay, this is the bride prep, hair and makeup part, right? Like some of these are detail shots. So that's the other thing that we want to kind of keep in mind while we're shooting films is like, I shouldn't have done this to myself, or I went from hair and makeup to a detail shot, which that's a wasted shot, nothing. You know, like there should be a sequence of like, let me get all my details first, so then it falls in flow of, you know, first all details, then hair and makeup. You know, you can't always control that, but that would help if you could. So like, for example, hair and makeup portion shots, we're going to go to the bride prep, right, into hair and makeup. Boom, that's simple. Now you go into hair and makeup, and it's just, look at that, hair and makeup shots. Dope. Cool. So then you cull all of your footage. Once you cull it all, and things are pretty set. Look at this sunset, dude. Come on. This shot. Money. Money. Yes. Good stuff. And it's all in 60 frames, so you can slow down. Hell yeah. Yeah, so once that Once you cull all this, put it in its rightful place, now you just go right into highlight film. We'll just say 1080 because that's what it was shot in. Highlight film 1080, boom. Now I'm just going to walk through the sequence of the days.